Ooh, Fredo.
Hey, yeah, I'm back into the barricade. What I'm doing, counting up money from this year I made. Last year was a different story, but this year I'm paid. Just do 6:30 in the club, I let it ricochet. Extreme rules ain't enough, I put him in the cage. Now it ain't nowhere to hide, you about to catch this fade. Hey, if rap was wrestling, I'm in the Hall of Fame. Playing games better acknowledge me like I'm Roman Reigns. Hey, but you can't see me though. Took a break, now the final boss back with the demon flow. The innovator, I just do the stuff that they ain't seen before. I'm like the Undertaker, a tombstone to put you where you need to go. A match against me and Dog out for showstopper. I'm in the booth with sweet chin music, I'm the showstopper. Like the Midnight Express, I'm on the road rock. They screaming no mas, I'm old mas, dog, I'm a whole problem. You got the money in the bank, I need the whole profit. Running through my ops like Goldberg, like who gon' stop him? Looking at the clock, it's 3:16, I'ma go spot. Then I'ma open up a can of whoop ass like Stone Cold drop. You beating us, the squad like 3D when we teaming up. I got the longest title reign of real rap, it ain't no.
Ayo, it's Wednesday night. It's time for a little bit of madness. Match Wrestling Collectibles. Hello, everyone for joining us already on this Wednesday night. Dynamite 420 friendly. You know how it is. Mad Smoke Vibes and AEW Dynamite review. It's your boy Loud Madman Murray. It's that boy Loud. It's Rich Loud.
You know what I'm saying? Rich Loud, the rich better, motherfucking riches of them all. Rich in the building, man.
Rich Loud in the building. Oh man, it's always good to have you, brother.
What's up, my boy?
Woo-wee, boy. All right, I'll tell you what. We had a decent Dynamite tonight. A couple points I do want to make throughout the review. Some special shit about AEW that definitely kind of differentiates them from the competition. But you know how we do it here. Got to warn everybody, TV mature. Make sure the kiddos are in bed, asleep, got their tablets on them, something. They shouldn't be watching this shit because they shouldn't be watching AEW. Whatever comes out of my mouth, whatever comes out of Rich's mouth, we say what we think and we mean what we say. No filters. Straight the fuck to you. However we think it, that's how it comes off. If I end up looking like an idiot, I don't give a shit. You know what? We all make mistakes. This is me, my raw, unfiltered opinion, and y'all are entitled to y'all's wrong opinions. That's the freedom that we have. See, you know, I'm entitled to mine, just like y'all entitled to being wrong. It's okay. All right, Rich Law, go ahead. Out of 3 stars, brother, what do you get tonight?
Man, out of 3 stars, I'm gonna get a 2.
Solid 2.
Get a solid 2.
Solid 2. I'm gonna give it a solid 1.7.
Why 1.7?
Bro, I'll get into a little more when we get into review. There's a couple of spots that's just like, here we go again. This is the same formula that they need to change. And then we had some bright moments. Otherwise, you know, I would have been giving it a 1 for some of the match choices that they had tonight, especially. Like this very first match we're going to kick the motherfucking show off with. Hey, Kenny Omega, cool.
You saying the same thing.
Against Blake Christian. Who?
That's what I said. No disrespect.
Not Mike Jones, Blake Christian. So if you're who might know Blake Christian? Who? Blake Christian? I guess he's an up-and-comer Ring of Honor, possibly. I'm not quite sure. I mean, he had some skill. He showed some stuff during the ring. But here is my problem. Number 1, not only of the night, but with AEW. And it's so ironic that a couple of these things happened tonight, because I swear not. And if Mr. FTW wants to grace us with his presence here for a minute, he can verify what I'm about to say. Me and him were talking about this earlier today, maybe yesterday, but I think today, about how they're who gives a fuck matches. You're putting all these superstars in who gives a fuck matches, or you're putting people that we don't care or we see once a month in front of us and expecting us to, they could have the best match or the best storyline ever invented in wrestling, but no one's going to be invested or give a shit about it because they don't care about the people themselves. Now, that's not necessarily the case with this because it's Kenny Omega and he has a pretty huge cult following. But when you put him against someone like Blake Christian, you expect it to be a squash match. The fact that it's not technically considered a squash match to begin with, it doesn't have one of those. Close, but not really. I think they had a commercial break, didn't they? They had something.
Yeah, it did.
So they had enough time that it wasn't just, like a typical AEW squash match. And the dude, maybe part of the reason this Blake Christian fella isn't well known is he decided to stick his hand down his trunks in the match act like he's grabbing his dick and balls, pull his fingers up with the gun motion, and then lick it. So indicating he likes to lick his own ball sweat. Like, I don't know what in the fuck that was all about. What the point of was that. It was absolutely
nasty
ludicrous.
motherfucker.
Nasty. And that's probably why the motherfucker ain't been on TV, and I doubt we'll see him again after tonight. I don't know what the fuck that was.
Oh, boy, I'm trying to see what my ball sweat tasting like mid-match.
Oh man, see if that pineapple's working. Like, I mean, what in the fuck? I don't even know.
Bang!
Yeah, that functified nasty. The match itself was okay. It's kind of what you've come to expect from Kenny Omega now, and he's got a smaller opponent this time instead of these big burly motherfuckers that are gonna slap his titties off his chest. You know what I mean? So he's able to do the one-winged angel. However, I don't know if you caught this. I caught it, and then they showed the replay, and it's very vivid in the replay. Kenny Omega hits him with the one-winged angel, is in the pin. The ref doesn't start the pin for at least 2 seconds late. And then after the ref hits 2 and his hand is up for the 3 count, Kenny Omega takes his hand off the guy to celebrate, which technically means he's not pinning the guy anymore. And the ref still counts for 3. So, one, we didn't need this match to open it. We didn't need Kenny Omega against who the fuck is this guy?
Blake Christian.
And then, we don't need that to start Dynamite. And then we don't need what I consider a botched pinfall. I'm sorry, I'm one of them. I love wrestling. I love the fantasy of it. I'm what's considered a smart. I'm a smart mark. Like, I know what it is, and I'll play along when it's play alongable, but little things like that irritate me. When the ref counts somebody down when their shoulder's not down, when somebody kicks out when they're, shit like that. And so him taking that off, I wasn't for it. I felt like it was a botched finish. I'm not going to rant too much more on this. I just, before we get into the little after the match segment, what do you think? How'd you feel about this, Rich? The start of the show, this match.
The reason I gave it, I was originally gonna give it a 1.5, but I give it a 2 because I like the segments, the promos, all the backstage promos would give me that 2. But I'm like you, like when it first started, I'm like Kenny Omega versus who? Blake Christian. No disrespect. So I'm just like, we never seen him before like that, unless you watch the Ring of Honor. Now I've seen Blake Christian like twice, so I'm familiar with the name, but I've only seen him on Ring of Honor when I'm watching it, but not to a point where I'm like, Kenny Omega defending his belt against this dude? Is it like a warm-up match to, you know what I'm saying? Like, I guess
I don't think it was a title defense.
It wasn't? Okay.
No.
I don't know why I thought it was a title match, but I didn't, that shit just seemed kind of like, it just was random. I didn't really know which direction they was going with it, so it was kind of hard for me to be interested in it. And then the match itself was like a slow motion squash match. Like, I've never seen that. Most squash matches be kind of fast. That shit was like a slow-mo squash match. I'm like, okay, well, we know, like, he's not gonna win this.
Yeah.
And then I'll probably say the best thing I saw from Blake Christian was when he hit that spear outside the ring and he like dove in the ring at the same time. That shit was kind of hard, but it's just, I'm like you, that was just one of them random ass matches that nobody really needed it, unless it was hitting on all cylinders. It wasn't hitting on all cylinders, because it was the same thing. You had the funny finish, the delayed reaction from the ref. It just was kind of ugly towards the end. So I wasn't really feeling how it started off. If it was another competitor in a better match, I could let it slide. But that shit was kind of boo-boo. Straight boo-boo.
Definitely felt the same way. And I mean, I love AEW because they do put people in front of us we don't normally see. That's one of my positives about, you'll get some independent guys. You'll get people that aren't always just in squash matches. But like you said, this wasn't one of those banger, oh my God matches. There were a couple of moments like, oh, that was neat. But because of just kind of how it was presented to us, I feel, it didn't work for me. If they had pulled off some kind of whoa, that could have really elevated Blake Christian. And then people be talking about, damn, do you see what Blake Christian did tonight? Who's that? Well, I'm going to find out who he is now. I'm not. After tonight's performance, I'm not going to go watch Ring of Honor just to see Blake Christian.
Hey, Blake Christian, you had a chance to win the folks over, but you lost them when you was licking your nutsack.
That's what lost me when you did that. I'm like, all right, are you just struggling to figure out something to do? 'Cause that's definitely not it.
Like, come on, dog. You know that shit was not gonna get over with the crowd. Like we was about to be like, oh shit. Well, Blake Christian just licked his ball sweat.
So just figure out something other than a finger point with a gun. Like everyone does that shit. Just stop.
I could see if he rubbed his ball sack and then mushed Kenny Omega in the face. That would have made sense.
That'd have been nasty too, but that would exactly. Yeah. Yeah. I know if someone does that to me in a match, I don't give a fuck. I'm shooting for a second. The next couple strikes are going to be some shots because that's nasty. That's almost as bad as spitting in my face. I don't know if I can handle that. Muffin's fine. Don't be muffing me with no fucking Famunda cheese. I don't need that shit. Nah. Oh man, fuck all that nasty. Oh, so after the match, of course, because it's Kenny Omega, he has to grab a mic and cut one of the worst really quick promos. Like, bro, trash. And then kind of mentions Mike Bailey, and even though it's St. Joe Hendry, you mention someone's name in wrestling, they're probably going to show up, which Speedball Mike Bailey does. Another guy with great athletic ability, but no charisma. I'm sorry. I know who Mike Bailey is. I knew who Mike Bailey was before he showed up on Dynamite. For people, you don't know the fuck Mike Bailey's all. Yeah, Mike Bailey is awesome in the ring. Don't put a mic in his hand. I don't. And
Kenny Omega, I'm gonna kick your head off.
Yeah. And who the fuck else is he besides a Taekwondo like god? Okay, cool. What else are you? I'm a former technically failed mixed martial artist, but there's a lot more to me in what I do than just being a former mixed martial artist, former cage fighter. There's a whole lot more.
It's because it's like you said. It's because he doesn't have the charisma on the mic, so he's kind of boxed in. Just because if he could get himself over on a mic, he could be somebody where it's just not okay. I'm Mike Bailey. I did Taekwondo. I could kick your ass to death. Like, you know what I'm saying? But since he's not able to, in my opinion, at least some other folks don't feel different. But in my opinion, I don't feel like he could get himself over on the mic just based off what I saw when he was in other promotions. How I see him today. Not saying that when he get in that ring, that boy ain't no beast. I'm just saying like on the mic.
Speedball, brother. If this somehow makes it to you. Look, get you some good threads. You need to thread up. That's going to work wonders. Look what did for Ricochet. Okay, start dressing to impress, and come out there and let everybody know. Yeah,
and the shoes was handy. I
can kick your head off your shoulders. I can kick your shoulder and make it fall out your butthole. You know, I can do all these things to you, but that's not who I am. I'm going to show you who I am in that ring each and every time I come out there. And with these people behind me, I'm going to be a champion one of these days. It's so simple. Okay, now we know. You're Taekwondo, you're a dangerous motherfucker, but you've got more in store for us. I can't wait to see. It's really not that hard, brother. So I hope to see more things from you. I know you're in the twilight years of your career. I salute you as a martial artist. But, brother, you need to do something quick, all right? Something quick. We do get speaking of Ricochet, we get the Ricochet video interruption where he's at his wedding, cutting a promo on them. Much better than either one of their promos. I'll tell you that much. It was pretty solid. He ended it with his aha that I can't fucking stand. That means he's doing something right. And not much more to mention about that. He just tells how, look, y'all are great, whatever. He called Speedball cornball Mike Bailey, which he's kind of right on that. And then Kenny Omega said, yeah, you were the best bout machine, but come 2 weeks or whatever, I'm taking that belt. That's going to be a good match. That triple threat's going to be fucking great. So maybe that's why Kenny kind of took it easy. Honestly, thinking about it in second, why they kind of gave him a slow-paced squash match. Because they didn't want him to completely kill Blake Christian's momentum from Ring of Honor, but they need to conserve Kenny for the upcoming pay-per-view. Okay, I'm still not satisfied with the match, but that makes a little more sense in my head. I had to walk and see. That's why I like you, Rich. That's why I have in the show. That's why we talk to the people. We can shit, you know, maybe start seeing things from different perspectives to help us slow our roll a little bit as journalists.
Yeah, I feel the same way, man. Like, hey, one thing about Ricochet, I'll say that was the best promo I see him cut at AEW. To the one I saw today, that was
Okay.
pretty good. Like, it wasn't, he didn't stumble. It didn't feel like, because like even though I fuck with Ricochet hard, sometimes, just sometimes,
Yeah.
it feel a little forced. Sometimes, like sometimes
Oh.
it don't feel like he comfortable with what he's saying. Sometimes. But today everything was flowing. Like it looked like he was comfortable. My boy had that shit on with the all white suit, looking dripped out, saying he gonna come compete for that belt. Hey, and it's just crazy, man. I love when Ricochet hop on TV because he make the IWC so mad because the folks from the other company, they don't like to see nobody leave and go somewhere else to succeed. And he balling. He balling on these folks. Hey, like, come on, bro. He just went and just gave the best rivalry with Swerve, and he had just got in AEW. Now he has gotten himself over, even though he lost a feud, got himself over to where the crowd responds to everything. He's in another title match, triple threat at Dynasty. I'm just saying, man. I know y'all hate the boy because he left another promotion that came somewhere and went all the way up, but you gotta give him his credit.
Fuck all the haters. That's what I say. And look, Ricochet ain't the only motherfucker doing that. Ricochet, Swerve, and you said ballin'. Shout out to MVP, who will get on later on in the show. Getting so much love tonight, getting so much love in AEW. Like, I love seeing MVP getting his dues. Shelton Benjamin getting them cheers. Bobby, it's fantastic to see them come out, whether they're heels or not. The fans are giving them the respect that they didn't get in the other companies. This straight up, they did not get this type of reception, just unwarranted reception. They haven't done anything in this company to get that type of reception, honestly.
That's the crazy part. and they're tag team champs. He's not even single competitors. It's like they just walk out there. Everybody loves him.
So shout out to that. And we'll get to that because that's a segment coming up. And it's a segment that I know most people have been excited to get to and find out the whole MJF MVP dynamic. Hurts in the kid. Is he going to accept the offer? Yada, yada, yada. Before we get to that, we got a Jericho backstage segment where he's berating Big Cass and Brian Keith.
Big Bill
and Brian Keith, right?
Yeah.
Yep. He's telling them, look, you got to prove it. I'm sick and tired. You either want to be with me, with Jericho, or not. I'm tired of the losing, basically, is what he says. And so, few words. I talked that shit to death. Anyway, he's holding. He tells shouts out to Bandito, says, you got your mask back on Collision. Good for you, yada, yada. But I want your mask. I don't care about Gravity's mask. I want your mask. So how about at Dynasty, I'll give you a reason to put your mask on the line. Your mask versus my title, Ring of Honor Championship, Dynasty. I love this because this is old school a mask match. That's old school luchador right there. Usually mask for mask because luchador versus luchador. Mask for title. So this is Chris Jericho loves working with luchadors. If you watch his career over the years, WCW especially, and things like that, he's damn near a luchador himself. He's not. He'd tell you he's not a luchador. He hasn't earned a mask. He hasn't. None of that. But his style and a lot of people he works with best have been luchadors. So these lucha libre feuds with Chris Jericho is one of the few times that I really get, and I love lucha libre, so I'm not throwing any shade at AAA or lucha libre whatsoever. It's hard for me to garner interest in a lot of their storylines because it is cultural that I'm not familiar with. The Dia de los Muertos, Day of the Dead, and all that. It's very interesting. I love that concept and a lot of the dark witchcraft and supernatural, spiritual stuff they do. Lucha Underground was amazing. Jericho does a great job with these luchadors in doing this type of thing. So I look forward to that match now. I'm not a big fan of these particular luchadors, Gravity and Bandito. We've been seeing Bandito tease for a while. People know how I felt about the money they've wasted on the promo videos and space for Bandito. So we're going to see. I think he's going to beat Jericho. Personally, he's not going to lose his mask. I think he's going to beat Jericho for the Ring of Honor title at Dynasty. Lord, what you got for me?
Shit, I feel you. I'm like, it took me a minute to be honest, bro, because like with the whole Chris Jericho, Bandito, it took me a while to really kind of like catch on. I'm trying to see which direction he going. I ain't really feeling it, but then I started like he'll cut a promo, and I'm like, yeah, okay, the promo was hitting. So like, I feel like like I feel like the end of this feud is gonna help Bandito in the end because I feel like it's really gonna get him over. Like if I put my personal bias aside and my own confusion, just from what I'm seeing, I'm like, it seems like it's working. Like at one point, it seemed like it was just some straight bullshit, and then as it carried on, it was like, oh, okay, I see where you're going. Then like the crazy part about it, you still got Big Bill, Brian Keith, they getting a crazy rub, bro. Because think about this shit, man. When Jericho finally dropped that belt to Bandito, he already talking to Big Bill and Brian Keith, like, y'all got to get together. I'm gonna have to, drop y'all, blah 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 blah. But it's like, they're still a threat. We've seen them in the ring. They doing their thing. They getting that rub and getting over with the crowd. I just think when come into this, I think everybody gonna benefit. I ain't gonna lie. Look, it's looking good.
So you're liking the direction we're seeing?
Yeah, but I didn't at first. I was like, man, come on, Jericho, stop Hulk Hogan it. It's time for you to end that shit. But I'm rocking with it as it carried on. Let me just see what it is. I started fucking with it. I can't lie. I like Bandito though. I ain't gonna lie. I like when he hold him up. Hit the squats. I like when they do the 10 paces in the corner. Like, I fuck with Bandito.
I don't hate him, but I don't like him. He's one of those characters I'm kind of indifferent about, honestly.
I got you.
When it comes
but
to
see, I like his mask. He the only one who got that mask like that. That part there cold. Everybody else whole face cover. He come out. I fuck with him.
Yeah. The Zorro almost type thing. Yeah. But I wasn't with it at all until honestly they kind of won me in with the announcing, well, Gravity is his actual brother. And then when he took the mask from Gravity and from his family and all that, that's okay. Now we got some, because now there's actual, that's fucked up. That's damn Jericho. Come on, man. Now you got some heat. Even though I still want Jericho to win, he's not, but I'm still gonna be cheering for Jericho. Now we got a true underdog. It's not just Bandito. We're pushing Bandito. It's an underdog now. Okay, you did something fucked up, Jericho. So if he does beat you, you gotta just, oh well, look what you did. So we get to what should have been the moment of the night. Okay, so this is another part that kind of let me down. Another reason I didn't quite give it a solid 2. MJF. Love MJF. Biggest mark. Everyone knows that. Comes out straight to the chase. Throws his insults, get the boos and the cheers, calls out MVP. MVP hits the ramp. Music. He hurts people. Great pop for MVP. Chanting, they hurt people. We hurt people. MVP gets in there. MVP chants. Very pleasant. MJF keeps it, again, quick, to the point. Look, been thinking about it. You don't have friends either. You're a businessman. You do business. And I want to be in the business of hurting people. And it sticks out his hand. Great way to put it. I still wasn't too happy with it. I'm like, I don't know. It doesn't feel right. However, before MVP can shake his hand, we get Hurt People. Hurt Syndicate comes out there. Bobby and Shelton. Bobby looking just like,
that boy jacked.
He about to rip motherfucking head off his shoulders. Who's what? Straight into MJF's face. Sticks out his hand. MJF's like, oh, you shake your hand. I'll shake Shelton's too, And no, I want the card. Give me the card. Gives him the card. He rips it right up and looks at MVP. He's like, what the fuck is this? And MJF said, well, we can go right now then, which I love. At least he stood his ground. He didn't do the whole, oh, no, we'll back up. Because, come on, you're supposed to be pushing MJF as he's still a threat. He's a heel, so he'll do that and poke in the eye in a match. Obviously, but in that type of situation, that is the time he would need to stand his ground. He did. But it's a really odd, I don't know what's going on with this. So I'm really interested to hear other people's opinions, because I did watch it alone tonight. If Mr. FTW wants to tune in during this time too, I'd love to hear his opinion. So I'm going to drop it at that, except for no bloodshed, no blows take place. MJF does eventually go, all right, I'll let y'all discuss what's going down. I ain't got no issue with y'all. Leaves the ring. We get a kind of monologue between MVP and Bobby Lashley. Can't really hear a whole lot. At least I couldn't hear a whole lot what they were saying. I heard a couple of MVP saying, what are you doing? Like, he's cool. Ain't no problem or something like that. They couldn't hear what Bobby was saying, though. Go ahead, Rich. Let me know what you think, because I need to hear some opinions on this.
Okay, yeah, I like it. I like the whole spiel. I like Unlike when MVP came out, MJF said he want to get down with the Hurt Syndicate. You feel me? So MVP like, okay, cool, everything looking good. They finna get ready, shake hands, make it official. Boom, theme song hit again. Here come Bobby and my boy Shelton. I'm talking about Shelton. I'm like, I keep forgetting, boy. Shelton, boy, I put them weights on. But hey, man, Shelton walked. I said, man, the boy Bicep about to bust out the suit. I said, my boy, I got swole. Man, about Bobby Lashley's side, man. He about the same size coming out there. And y'all gotta remember, man. Y'all remember Shelton Benjamin. Like, come on, but he was nowhere near that size. Now, he was in shape. He was always in shape. But he was probably like a good solid 220.
He was always kind of buff. But
yeah, but right now, bro, he pushing like 250. And he looking there. I'm like, these are the tag team champions, bro. These look like world champions coming out with the belt suited up. You feel me? Then Bobby Lashley get down there, you feel he straight eyeballing MJF, get him in the eye, looking straight through his soul. Looking straight through his soul. He like, hold on, MVP, you told us to go. You feel what's this? We don't trust him like that for real. Got the card, tore it in half. I'm like, okay, which way we going with this? You know what I'm saying? Because like we still, now that it came to an end, it's like MJF was interested, but then with the other two things, because you know it's gonna come a time, right? Like you say, like they over, bro. They running the tag team division right now. Like from the crowd, from how they look, nobody looks serious and complete like they do. They look like, you feel me, head to toe. They suited up, doing what they supposed to do. So that's why I said maybe somewhere down the line, Lashley gonna want to try to get that belt. You feel me? So I'm like, what's causing the commotion? Because Lashley know that he's like, man, we can't really trust him like that. But we're gonna see how it play out. We're gonna see.
I want to shout out my buddy Venomous 420, my homeboy Joe, who was watching from home, sent me a message. Got a good eye. He said, yo, MVP's wearing like a plaid suit, like almost like a Burberry suit. Could that mean anything? I said, and that was before MJF or told MVP, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sure. I want to be in the business of hurt people. So this is before you. I was like, that's a good eye, brother. That could be some subliminal shit. That could, you never know. That could be. Do you think it's eventually, because there's another segment, I'm gonna go ahead and just hit that segment, even though it's later in the night, because it is relevant to this, where you see backstage, you do get Bobby and MVP like, look, what, we're gone 1 week, and you go and this guy, everyone says this guy's a snake. Like, why would we want to do any kind of business with it? And MVP's like, no, look, he's cool. I know this kid. I talked to him. He wants the same things that we want. You know, all that type of stuff. Like, basically advocating for MJF still, and he seems to cooler heads prevail, if for lack of a better term, you know. Bobby's like, all right, and Shelton's kind of just indifferent this whole time. This kind of reminds me. I'm gonna inadvertently, well, actually not inadvertently, intentionally shout out another company's storyline real quick because it's very similar. I see the connection when we have a certain bloodline that had a non-bloodline member coming in, where you had a certain main event guy that was not cool with it, and then you had a guy that was all for it, and then you had an indifferent guy. You know, I get kind of the same vibe with this, same sort of feeling, different scenario, obviously. It worked with that. Can it work with this? Do you think MVP eventually joins MJF? The initial motherfucker right there, good, throwing me off, man. MJF, Maxwell Jacob motherfucking Friedman. Do you think he eventually joins the Hurt Syndicate?
I can see it. Okay, this how I am. I can see both sides, to be honest. I can see MJF joining, and he used the Hurt Syndicate like how back in the day, WWF, they used to use the APA. They was a tag team champion. They was like hired guns. Like, okay, we need you to go handle these folks, go whoop their ass for me real fast. But you still the tag team champions, and people know not to play with you. It could be like that, or it could be something more sinister where they trying to, MVP, man, he's a master of deception. He know how to get in there and really pull the strings and be like, look, Bobby, I know you mad. I know this. Listen, I got you. I'm gonna get you with MJF, get the title. I'm gonna get you in there, let you get in there and get that belt off his ass. We're gonna work for him for a little bit, play on this side, but you feel me? It's so many ways you can come with it. So that's why I say I'm really down to see it, because the last time MJF was like paired with somebody that was like Warlow, like a serious muscle behind him. So let's just see what happens.
one little quick more segment I'm gonna shout out before we take our quick sponsor break. We got Tony Storm, Thunder Rosa backstage. They're gonna be tag teaming tonight in the main. Was it the main event? No.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the main event.
Yep. In the main event, women main event in another AEW. Good for them. Tony's trying, I guess. Not Tony Storm, Tony Khan. It was hilarious. As all Tony Storm is gold, absolutely. She's in this character and she's in that mode. It's everything out of her mouth is just fucking hysterical. And this is one of the points I wanted to make. AEW does comedic wrestling. Their comedy skits that they have, they do more than one. They have more than one comedic character, and they do it better than the other company. The other company has one or two people that you rarely see, and they're the comedic relief. AEW, every show, you're going to get somebody that just says or does something hilarious to kind of lighten the mood or get you, oh, man, okay, that type of shit. And that I like that. I think that's much needed. And I'm glad that they have Tony and the Thunder Tits thing with the crowd started immediately. Thunder Tits and Thunder Rosa. No, Thunderstorm. Not anymore.
Hey, that's a hard name though. Thunderstorm, but Tits. I'm saying Thunderstorm, but like comparing the two, putting the two names together, that's a cold ass name.
Yeah, yeah.
Thunder Tits
perfectly.
The money with Thunder Tits though, if the crowd are like Thunderstorm, but the money, the big cash, the greenbacks, oh yeah, Thunder Tits.
As much as the crowd like Thunderstorm, the crowd love Thunder Tits. You heard?
Yeah, I'm telling you.
I bet it's a T-shirt in the making already. They're right now. All right, Thunder Tits T-shirts. We got Tony Storm, Thunder Rosa, Thunder Tits.
Look, man, we love women empowerment. You feel me?
Woo. Okay, so before Boss Man drops these sponsors, I need a shout out to Dubby Energy. If you need some energy, but you're worried about getting the crash, you're worried about putting all that artificial preservatives and sweeteners in your body, you're worried about all that nasty jitterness and shit afterwards, Dubby Energy has you covered. Coffee fruit extract, a whole bunch of other words and stuff that I can't pronounce, and good for you things that are in there that'll give you 6 to 8 hour energy. One scoop, 8 ounce glass or bottle of water, you're good to go for quite some time. Gives you sharpness of mind, gives you the energy. Plus, FTW Podcast is hosting our own FTW Mania coming up. Vegas, WrestleMania weekend, night one. Come and watch night one with your boys, with the podcast, with the group, with everybody.
We in that motherfucker.
April 19th. Immediately following the watch party and night one of WrestleMania, we got FTW Mania, where we're going to wrestle all night. No, not all night, but we're going to have wrestling immediately following. We're going to have the drinks. We're going to have the food. We're going to have the excitement. It's going to be insane. So if you're in the Vegas
smoke
area,
going to be in the air.
Your boy Rich Loud. Everybody, Rich motherfucking Loud is going to be there.
Rich! Right? Yeah,
so Rich is going to turn it up. Bonafide Thundercat's going to be there. Your boy's going to be there. Mr. FTW is going to be there. Rock Dreams from the other podcasts that aren't as good as ours are going to be there. I'm telling you what, boy, it's going to be crazy. It's going to be so crazy. Great matches, great time. Go ahead, Mr. FTW, if you want to run that beautiful bean footage so we can get back to the show afterwards. He fell asleep on us.
I hope not.
Oh boy! Oh,
so that Zach got him laid out. He back there snoring.
No, the other sponsor video is still loading, so it won't be there. But shout out to our sponsor, our boy Mike and our boy Vape in Hot Springs Smoke Shop. Go ahead, and if you go down there and get that way on East Grand, go ahead and give my boy a shout out. And all you got to do is use the code FTW, and you get 15% off anything in the store, man. And with that being said, man, I'm gonna let the guys continue back with a great show.
All right, we got to see that was very, very, very painless, people. We ain't like these. We give you 2 hour show, 1 hour show, and 35 minutes of commercials now. Straight podcast, and it's sponsors we believe in that believe in us. That's what I'm talking about. All you need is that power around you, and you can get through any avalanche. Fuck all the political bullshit. Fuck all the religious bullshit. Fuck everything around you. Don't worry about it. We don't even talk about it. We focus on wrestling. We focus on doing what we want to do that makes us happy, that is legal, of course. I'm not telling people to go out and do no shit like that. I'm not going to get no fucking canceled. I'm saying live your life happy, people. Do what you can do. If you get a chance to live your dream, fucking do it. All the other noise, you don't need it. Focus on the dream. That's all I'm saying. You're never too young to start living your dream, because you get old real fast. Am I lying, Rich?
Hey, man, look, I remember being 15, blinked my eyes 2 times. 10 years went by.
Fucking feels that way.
Boy, I tell you what, I was just a child the other day.
Boy, I tell you, as soon as I hit 30, it just whoa. I'm
telling you, dog, it moved fast.
Whoa. Enjoy your 20s, people. Enjoy your 20s, man, but figure out what the fuck you're going to do with your life before you hit 30. Enjoy your 20s, but before you hit 30, figure out what you're going to do. And that is the Mad Minute of the day. I'm going to move on with the show before we get too far off. Woo, we got a second match of the night. A lot of segments, but they were good segments. I didn't particularly care for the first match. Decent segments, though. Brody King, Kyle Fletcher. I did not know I needed this in my life. Boy, this was a redemption from the first match. I tell you what, I don't like that Brody keeps losing. Dude's a fucking monster, bro. Why is he... You're putting him against all these high talented guys, which are great, but now is he like the really talented guy jobber? Is he like the main event jobber guy type guy? Like, he's not in main events. But what I'm saying is, usually you think of jobber, you think people like the Miz and stuff like that are kind of the mid card jobbers. They don't really job for the world titles. Brody, like, he gets in these matches against people like Will Ospreay, and you have Darby Allin, and the bigger names of the company. And of course, he loses against them because they're the bigger names of the company. But he's a fucking monster, people. Same thing they do with Lance Archer, the Murder Hawk. I mean, come on. What are you doing, Tony? Anyways, we get Brody King, Kyle Fletcher. It is a hell of a fucking match. And at least since they had Brody lose again, there was interference with Mark Davis coming out there, kind of, pulling Kyle Fletcher out the way. We shifted momentum into Kyle Fletcher's favor, enabling him to impressively hit that fucking brain buster to Brody on the top turnbuckle. Man, that he showed some strength in this, because Brody again is
that shit like it hurt.
Boy, that's a big boy.
I know it.
And Brody is agile as fuck for being that big boy. I'll tell you what. Ooh-wee. How'd you feel about this one, Rich?
I'm like you, man. I'm thinking it's another one of them random matches. I'm like, come on, TK, give me some storyline, man. Then they got into it. They started doing their thing. I'm like, okay, yeah, they putting on a match. I like it. I ain't never mad at Kyle Fletcher. I seen Kyle Fletcher live. First time Kyle Fletcher fought Will Ospreay in AEW, I was there. I seen that shit. I was like, man, hey, that was my first time ever seeing him. I didn't even know he was that tall. And I'm like, damn, this dude, that man going crazy in the ring. But I'm kind of like you, like, I fuck with Brody King. So I'm like, why is he losing so much? Like, when I look, but the thing, what it is, like, and I'll talk about this later when we move on, but Tony Khan, he got this thing against the big wrestlers. I don't understand. Like, if you a heavyweight dog, like, it's like Tony Khan has some type of bias against you. He like, nah, I'm looking for somebody 180. If you 180 pounds, I'm not knocking you. I'm not knocking you. I'm just saying, like, when we think of pro wrestling across the board,
hey,
you
TK,
got to have some monsters.
185, TK, what's up?
Look, hey, TK, you up in here, man, my boy Mad, man, he here, dog, 185. He can do his thing in the ring. I don't sign up to that contract, man. You know what I'm saying? But, yeah, I'm the same way, man. I'm like, shit, I'm looking for Brody King. Like, come on, man. Can my boy get the TNT? Can he compete? Like, he need to be able to win, but he got the crowd barking with him. He come out, he got the
always.
crazy ass theme song, crazy ass entrance. My boy done came out with the necklace today. A couple times he come out with the shiesty mask on. You feel me? I'm like, he got the swag. He got the tattoos, got the swag, can do it in the ring. We need a monster in AEW. Sometimes they be having folks that got these muscles, like my boy Brian Cage, swole, but like when I see him, he doesn't look frightening. He just look like somebody with a bunch of muscles. When I see Powerhouse, my boy look like he gonna do some damage. When I see Brody, look like he gonna do some damage. Brian Cage just look like a bodybuilder, like, you know what I'm saying? Nothing against him, but he doesn't look like, if I seen him, I would just be like, okay, he just got a bunch of muscles. You know what I'm saying? So I want to see him do something with Brody King. I like the interference in the matches, so he ain't just look, you know what I'm saying? Right. He just lose, but it was a reason why. I like how they hit that brain buster on the, I think that's what it's called, off the rope. Because Brody King is so big, like when he did, it looked like it hurt, like versus if it was a smaller person. It just looked, it was kind of slow and boom. I was like, damn.
Makes sense. It makes sense that's okay. Yeah, you could pin him off of that. Because a bigger guy coming down on his head, it's more weight coming down on your head than a smaller guy getting that. So it's more impactful. That's why big guys don't get picked up a lot. So when they do, you get the factor. Everything that happens to them looks more impactful because they're big.
But outside of that, I just want to see Tony Khan really just get my boy in something for real. But outside of that, it was cool with me.
Yeah. Which leads right into, you mentioned Powerhouse Hobbs, leads right into we get a bit of a brawl afterwards because you get Mark Davis and you get Kyle Fletcher jumping up on Brody King, Don Callis off of commentary, who he was on commentary the whole time. I didn't write it down, but I want to mention him and Taz. The banter tonight was hilarious. Taz ain't been having it these last few weeks, bro. If you listen to his commentary, I don't know if Taz is supposed to be more heel now. To me, he's just more real instead of more heel. Like he's just that's stupid, Tony. Shut up. Like,
every time I see Don Callis, I have to laugh because every time he's on the announce table, I'm ready to hear him drop the head when he dropped the headphones. Because every time he got to drop the headphones, go to and here's Don Callis. He just dropped the headphones, fold the head to the. He do that shit every time, dog. That'd be the funniest. And then when I hear him drop, I don't know what it is, but I just be sitting there watching. He'll take it off. You just hear the noise and hey, Taz like, oh, there he is again.
Taz be like, good
Can't
riddance.
help but laugh at it.
Yeah, Taz be like, well, good riddance. He was out here too long anyways. Like. Oh, man. But when you get, like I said, segue, Powerhouse Hobbs comes down to help Brody King get him off because he's got to come out and fight Mark Davis anyways. So commercial break, boom, we come back, Powerhouse Hobbs versus Mark Davis. An match. Davis looked winded or hurt, or I don't quite know what exactly was going on with that. I've seen Mark Davis look a lot better than he looked in this match. Powerhouse looked solid. Davis, not so much. And what you were talking about with the big guys, yeah, I think Powerhouse is who they're definitely trying to push as the resident big guy, the resident just beast monster dude. Fine. So put Powerhouse in a position for either the international championship or the world title and set Brody King up for the TNT.
I think that's fair.
Or vice versa. Either way, I'm fine with either one of those. Powerhouse has already kind of been in the TNT thing in the past, so that's why.
But you know, see, the only reason I want him to get it again, though, is because I ain't gonna cap, man. They kind of bullshitted that shit. Like when he was going back and forth with Warlow, that should have been like the best TNT feud when Warlow and Powerhouse. I don't know how that shit did not work. That still irks me to this day. That shit didn't work at all.
To be perfectly honest with you, to me, back then, both of them were still. I don't know how green they were, if they were even green at all. But that's how it seemed to me when I watched them. Neither one of them were very impressive with their movesets or what they did in the ring at that time. So they might have both still been developing. Powerhouse now, he still does the same things, but as a wrestler, there's just something you see when someone finally finds the groove or the way that they do their moves and makes it look a lot smoother. That works wonders. they're much, or at least Powerhouse is much more smoother within his actions, with his motions, with where he is, placement in the ring, how he responds to other people where they are in the ring. Very few botches, if any, that type of shit. So
Yeah,
I'm excited kind of to see where they take Powerhouse with this. Let's see if they actually use it, because you're right. Tony doesn't. I think Tony's thing with against big guys is that he's a small guy himself, and he knows that Vince was a big guy thing, and he wants to be so anti-Vince that it's going to end up hurting him in the long run. Bro, you don't have to be completely anti somebody that you hate. Take what, I don't want to say good qualities, but take what works. Good that they did, what worked well for the business. Take that, learn from what he did with that, and just don't do all the crooked, nasty, underhanded shit he did, and you'll be fine. Like, you can learn from scumbags. You can learn from serial killers. You can learn from, think about these dirtbags, these serial killers, these psychopaths, these corrupt businessmen. They're all smart as fuck. They are geniuses in some way. Either they eluded authorities for fucking decades, or they're multimillionaires, or they're able to manipulate people at the drop of a dime. Regardless, you can learn shit for the betterment. It's all on what you want to do with what you learn, with the knowledge that you obtain. That simple. There's another Madman Minute of Madness for you motherfuckers, straight in the face. I ain't having it tonight. I'm telling you what, boy.
Maybe Triple M, I ain't Madman Minute. You feel me?
All right, so yeah, this was kind of, again, this was an match for me. A brawl. At least Powerhouse did pick up the victory.
Would you consider it a squash?
No. It was short, like the Kenny Omega Blake Christian, so I guess you could call it almost a slow burn squash. But Mark Davis, I felt, got enough offense in that it doesn't quite make it a squash. Technically make it a squash. It was just an Didn't really. Okay, we could have just. We didn't need all the interference and the brawling, and let's get at it for it to be a squash-ish, squash adjacent. You know, it should have been a lot more than if y'all are trying to chomp at the bit to get at each other type shit. Which is why, again, I think Mark Davis was kind of off his shit. He's sick, injured, something. His mouth was hanging open the whole time, like he was having trouble breathing through his nose, like he was having to take big gulps. And being from the fight background, you see that when someone has a broken jaw or just is having trouble breathing in general. They're very open mouth breather type shit. We get a Hangman backstage segment. Before anything can happen, Swerve runs up and is like, did I hear right? You something about you going to keep me from my title, blah, blah, blah. Hangman, they about to throw down. And they get split up really quickly. And you know that's a pot that's going to boil over eventually pretty soon. What's up, Mr. FTW? I see you jumped in. Love to hear from you. Well, unless he decides to come back in, what you think, Rich, about the Hangman backstage? Swerve.
Let me hit this Powerhouse topic real fast.
Sorry, go ahead. Yeah.
Now you go. It's gonna be real quick. I'm just I like everything. I'm just glad that my boy Powerhouse is finally getting that push. Bro, when I tell you I have waited so long for this, like I don't give a fuck till he get in there, squash match, bad match. Give my boy some shine. That's all I got to say about that. But I see it. TK, I got on your ass about not fucking with the big man. You saw the reaction of the crowd when the two giants got in the ring. People love heavyweights. There you go. We love them. That's all I got to say about that. Now about the Swerve situation. Listen, man, I'll get ready to tell you. I like that. Anything Swerve or Hangman got, dog, that shit straight up magic. I'm gonna go ahead and tell y'all now. Listen, the best rivalry in pro wrestling, not AEW. I'm talking about the whole industry. Swerve and Hangman, come on, man. We got the beef for real. We seen the whole storyline. Every single match was A1. Burnt the house down, steel cage match, slamming them through the bricks, needle through the jaw, blood everywhere. I'm just saying that was easily the best rivalry in pro wrestling. Everything they doing is gold. All I'm saying it did, man. Go ahead and give me a slow burn between Hangman and Swerve. I don't know if they're gonna do like the one final match for good for a little bit, but I'm whatever they doing, I'm ready for it. That's all I'm saying.
See, I thought they already did that with the last match.
But the belt went on the line though.
True. So I hope they do. I wouldn't mind seeing it again, but it needs to be, like you said, a slow burn. Give it to me in a while down the road where we can be like, guess what? I'm back. We're going to do this again. And the crowd be all, fuck yeah, it's been a while, you know, that type of shit.
I can see, because Hangman won the last match. I forget what's the numbers is, like, who is it tied? I forget, but
I'm pretty much Swerve's up on Hangman.
So if Swerve, let's say Swerve beat Mox, Dynasty, do he get a long run? Then we see Hangman contact, because you know Hangman has got to get the belt a second time at some point, just because he was so popular when he first got it. He's gonna eventually get it. So I'm just ready to see how that comes.
Definitely. And the only thing I'm not disagreeing with you, but I'm saying the only other rivalry that I can put up there that I can argue with might have been better in wrestling was the Mariah May Tony.
Oh, okay. I didn't say that one for a reason. I was gonna say it, but I'm saying, okay, let me rephrase it, because
it's hard to pick. If you could only pick one,
if I had to pick one, that's hard. That is a hard one. But I just put it like this. Let me. They definitely had one. I was trying to keep it men related.
Right.
That's the only reason why I used. That's the only reason why I used it. But even if we don't use the men, like Tony Storm, Mariah May, still they like one. If I would put it like this, 1A, 1B between Swerve, Hangman, Mariah, Tony Storm, whichever direction you want to put it. Anybody, 1A, 1B. Then we move on to the other promotions. So there you have it.
Yeah, I think the only thing that would for me that puts Swerve and Hangman barely above Mariah and Tony is the length. We had a longer feud storyline with Hangman and Swerve than we did Mariah and Tony. Now, granted, if you take back when Mariah first came in, was under her tutelage, if all that was, yada yada, then it's arguable at the same time. Then you can't really compare them, because you got this beautiful where it shows the art and artistry of professional wrestling with Mariah May, Tony Storm, the way that they're doing the stories and then you got the brutality, house burning down, house invasions, blood, cinder blocks, hypodermic needles, fucking glass. I mean,
you know what? You're right. I'll do it like this, because I got to show the ladies some love. I'm gonna put Mariah May and them number one, just because you said this, because they was able. We don't see this from women a lot. It got brutal. It got bloody and glass. We don't see that from women's wrestling. I give you that.
Very, very, very few. Britt Baker and Thunder Rosa did it. I think the chick named the Bunny.
Yep, I know what you're talking about.
She had a blade. She had a bloody match with it might have been Anna Jay or somebody. I don't quite remember who it was. There was Ty Conti, I believe, maybe. And now she's Ty Mello.
Yeah,
something like that. So the AEW does a thing when it comes to women, allowing the women to go out there. If the women want a blade, if the women want to show some color, whatever I believe is what it's called in the business, they let them do it, and I'm all for that, because it adds such a wow and a shock factor, because you don't see that with women so much in wrestling. FTR and Adam Copeland backstage. I'm for this because I'm not for the group. Rated FTR, no, it doesn't work for me. I love FTR. I'm one of those. I don't really care either way about Edge. Personally, I was never really a big Edge guy growing up, or Adam Copeland guy growing up. Definitely still some friction between Dax, even Cash. Cash is all on board with Copeland, and it seems like Dax is kind of being not really snubbed, but he's definitely the odd man out. He's the black sheep currently right now. And they declared they want those trios titles from the Death Riders, challenge the Death Riders to a match at Dynasty for those trios titles. The Death Riders do later on in the night reply and respond, yes, we're going to, how dare you have the audacity, though, to challenge us? So you're not challenging us, we're challenging you. We're at Dynasty, we're going to defend the titles against you, blah, blah. So I'm going to spoil that. Yes, we're going to see that at Dynasty. I don't really care. I'm pretty sure Rated FTR is going to take the trios off of that, because I'm pretty sure Mox is also going to lose the championship. and the Death Riders thing is going to be
Oh,
which sucks because I thought they're going to do a lot more with it, and they could have doing a lot more with it, and they're doing fine. So I really hope that doesn't happen. I got a sinking suspicion though. We got Top Flight versus Alex Feenley and Devo Knight. I think it was Devo.
I couldn't even tell you. I don't even remember the name. I just remember Top Flight.
Another hilarious, because I mentioned this to Boss Man every time. This is one of the teams I brought up. You know, I said they could be having the greatest storyline in wrestling history, but we don't ever see them enough. So they'll be like them versus the Butcher and the Blade or somebody, and they're having the greatest story. But who they get fuck cares, because it's Top Flight versus Butcher and Blade.
Top Flight, are they a duo or a trio?
They are a duo, but I have seen them with trio because they actually had Action Andretti with them for a while at one point in time.
I forgot about Action Andretti. He beat Jericho.
He was actually who they were mouthing off to on the outside after the match. It was Action Andretti and his tag partner, whoever that guy is now. I can't remember. But, yeah, because when Andretti came in, he got the rub from Jericho. His first match in, he beat Jericho. Or whatever.
I remember that shit.
We do, and now this was basically a squash match, another slow burn squash match because they had a commercial break. But Top Flight got in there and got to show their thing. They're local boys, Top Flight are, so they got a great crowd reaction. Probably another reason they were on the card.
Mm-hmm.
I will say, Dante Martin's crossover splash, while looks cool, it's too dangerous. He needs to either start doing the crossover because he gets great height. He needs to either start doing it up here, or he needs to shorten the motions of the crossover because he damn near landed on his wrist. And one of these days, he's not going to get that type of height. He's going to go for it. He's going to try to do it. He's going to hurt himself or his opponent, break his neck, break his wrist at the least. And I think it's too dangerous of a move. It looks cool. I've never seen anybody quite do. I mean, he did a full-fledged crossover in midair, but he finished it literally a millisecond before he hit the ground and for the splash. So I think it's a little too dangerous. Real quick, we don't have to spend a whole lot of time on this, but I'm curious what you think about this, Rich.
It was a regular match. I'm not really too invested in the twins like that. Even when you was talking about the like the Reddit FTR, I'm not a big fan of that trios title. I'm just I'm old school. I'm just used to seeing two. Like I'm not unless it's an actual trio. Like a lot of times it's like makeshift trios.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I think that really what my issue is, and it's the same with the brothers. It's just I need some more from them. It wasn't like I'm gonna just trash it, but it wasn't like you said. It kind of just threw them in there because it was in Minnesota. So I was like,
yeah,
that's how I feel.
Local boys.
Yep.
All right, we get Ospreay video segment. Nothing to talk about at all. Just that he returns next week. I didn't know that he was out and needed a return video, but it's just advertising. Hey, if you don't get your tickets, come see Will Ospreay next week. Mark Briscoe versus Konosuke Takeshita. Damn, this was a good match. Another unexpected. I didn't know I needed this match. I thought, fuck, poor Briscoe. He's going to get just tore up from the floor up. Ain't nothing left. Nah, man. I mean, he got tore up, but he put on, as Mark Briscoe does, boy, he put on a hell of a fight. Really good match. Like I said, much better than I thought it was going to be. Takeshita does pick up the victory, though. Rich, what do you think?
I'm a big fan of both, actually. So I love to see him get in. I ain't seen the bad since the first day. I've seen Briscoes when they had that dog collar match with FTR. Ever since then, I've been a fan. Yeah. That was what made me a fan. I haven't. When Mark Briscoe was in ROH, I don't see a bad match when he's in AEW. Didn't see a bad match when he was in a tournament. Didn't see a bad match. Same with Takeshita. I have yet to see him put on a terrible match.
Yeah.
Once again, so it's like once I saw and they got in that ring, it was straight magic. I like what I saw. Every move looked like it was hurting like a mug. Even when Takeshita hit him with the spinning broken arrow, falcon arrow. You know what I'm saying? It's just like he was just tossing Briscoe. Mm-hmm. So, I like what I see from both of them. You know what I'm saying? I'm one of the people I still feel like Briscoe need an AEW title on, not a Ring of Honor. Go ahead and get him in contention at TNT, man. He'd be perfect for that.
Ooh, yeah, that is a perfect title for Briscoe. I agree 100%. 110%. You want a TNT champion? I think Mark Briscoe kind of epitomes that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, come on. His charisma, how goofy he is, but he's still just a good old boy. You know, I mean, come on. All right. Death Riders, already said that. They respond to the trio title. Hurt Syndicate backstage, already talked about that. So we get to the main event of the evening. 5 rounds for the US. Oh, wait. Ooh. Wrong sport. Hold up now. Get my Bruce Buffer on right there. We get Penelope Ford and Megan Bayne versus the Thunder Tits.
Thunder Tits.
Thunder Tits. Oh, Tony Storm and Thunder Rosa. Right off the bat, it was a good match. I don't feel like it was the match of the night. And I think there's a reason for this. And tell me, I could just be wrong. Megan Bayne may just be better than I'm giving her credit for. I feel like that very first chop that Thunder, that Rosa gave her at the beginning, really fucked her. Like, I don't know if she has implants and it popped a tit or something. But if you notice, if anyone goes back and watches that match, that very first chop, I think she was supposed to like just eat it and then trade, but she took it instantly. Oh, I don't think that was just overselling or selling. She went down and Thunder had to get her and whip her.
Thunder Rosa probably slapped on the nipple on accident.
It looked like she got her straight, almost right shoulder area. And then that whole match, she's kind of holding her arm, almost like her shoulder cradled or her tit. So I think that she might have actually gotten a little hurt off that very first chop, which Megan didn't do bad tonight, but out of all the other matches I've seen her do, tonight was definitely her worst, in my opinion. And again, I really feel like it might turn out that she's injured, or maybe because that could have tore a pec. Yep. Women have pec muscles, pectorals under that titty. You know, I mean, they have pectoral muscles, titty muscles.
They take that tit out, it's just straight chest right there.
She might have slapped that shit right off the bone, just right off the meat, something for all we know. Like, I really don't know. I hope not. I hope she just sold the shit out of it. We do get Megan Bayne picking up the victory over Toni Storm.
How you feel about that?
That's fine. It's wrestling, and they're coming up for a title match. Megan Bayne has been undefeated. You know, she's this big. They're trying to make her the Jade Cargill, the new Jade Cargill. She does the pump kick better. I'll give her that. Like, she does the pump kick better than Jade did. She's safer with it. Yeah. Jade's longer legs, I guess, and just, I don't know. She's got to figure out how to do that safely. That's my only real knock on Jade, other than we know she has been needing some work in the ring. But that's what I feel like. They're definitely trying to make her the next Jade Cargill. They're pushing her. So in order to make Toni Storm look strong, if she's going to retain, this is, oh no, Tony's going to lose. Tony's going to lose. Oh, she was over to overcome Megan Bayne. Or if it goes the other way around, they're going to have Megan take the title, I hope not, off of Toni. It still makes sense. Well, she did just pin her. She is a monster. She's been beating everybody. So it makes sense either way. So I think it's good writing in this circumstance because it makes sense either way. They can't really go wrong storyline-wise either way they choose, whether it's to give it up to Megan or for Toni to retain.
I feel that. I feel like I know the crowd, I can see their reaction. They ain't like that shit that she won, but like it makes sense because, like you said, when this Sunday hit, Dynasty will be in a week. So outside of, we saw Toni Storm get attacked from behind from Megan Bayne. Now she got the pin, so now it's like more animosity towards the fight that they're gonna have at Dynasty. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not against it. It was a tag team match. Toni Storm's not in a tag team, so you can always use that as, you know what I'm saying, some justification. She's not a tag team competitor. Belt wasn't on the line. She already, she got blindsided before, so it's a build up. Yeah. And once we get to Dynasty, I don't think Toni Storm is gonna lose. Because I feel like they're building up Megan Bayne, like you said. We're trying to see how the crowd responds to her, overpowering people, winning. Let's just see how they respond. Then she ain't about to just go whoop Toni Storm, and Toni Storm just came out of the best rivalry and damn near pro wrestling history. Hell nah, she gonna have to teach her ass a lesson, Megan Bang. Get your ass whooped, take it to the end of the line. But I'm all in all, just like we said from the jump, man. Megan Bang was there to replace Chris Statlander, who was supposed to replace Jade Cargill. So that's why she's getting the push. Not saying that she's not talented enough, not saying that at all. I'm just explaining. But I wasn't mad about the ending. It makes sense for me.
Yeah, absolutely. You're definitely a smart like myself. Definitely. We're both still fans. We still love the product. As you do. Shout out to Rich Law. Got an interview out there. Yeah, well, I'm not sure who interviewed you. Go ahead and shout yourself out real quick. Let everybody know about that interview.
Man, Rich Law, the Rich Bell, man, I'm here. One of your favorite rappers out this motherfucker, man. I just did an interview. It was not just did an interview. I actually did an interview last month, but I don't know if y'all seen it. Y'all see how my face is. Y'all will probably see the video going around. I was expressing my love for pro wrestling, how I've been watching it ever since I've probably been like 3 years old. Back in the day, SmackDown, I don't know how old everybody is in here, but back in the day was WWF SmackDown. It used to come on Thursday nights. And I used to come on a channel called UPN. Let me tell y'all something, man. I grew up in the country, down south. I grew up in Union Springs, Alabama. When I tell y'all, this is before the media how it is today. A new fan is exposed to everything. They can watch everything without even having to buy Peacock or HBO Max. You got streaming sites where you can watch everything for free. Back in the day, it wasn't like that. It was a special moment when your ass was watching them pay-per-views. So when I was a kid, every single Thursday, I kid you not, every single Thursday, my whole family would get together. It used to be like 15 deep, fish fries. It was a big deal that wrestling was on. And back in the day, everybody didn't have cable. We ain't have cable. So one of my uncles, when you stay in the country, you can't get cable. You have to get satellite. But one of my uncles had satellite when we stayed in the country. So when the pay-per-views would come on, we'd go to his house. We 30 deep in the house watching the pay-per-view. And then we go back to grandmama's house and watch grandmama and granddaddy's house, go back and watch SmackDown because you couldn't watch Raw. Raw was on cable. SmackDown was on basic cable. You feel me? Real vet, man. I'm a real vet.
Well, I bet y'all had some interesting matches break out with 30 y'all sitting around TV.
Bro, we used to, I can remember me, my mama, my cousins, auntie. I'm talking about not just the men in my family. I'm talking about men and women. My granddaddy was 72 when he died. So my granddaddy's old. He's watching this shit. Let me tell you something. This is gonna be funny. My granddaddy couldn't stand The Rock. And I'm gonna tell you why. Because my granddaddy always felt like The Rock used to come to the ring, talk a whole bunch of shit, and then get his ass whooped. He used to hate The Rock. He was like, man, Rock about to come down there, run his mouth, and somebody gonna beat it. Like, he used to say that shit all the time. So like, hey man, wrestling it got a special place in my heart. Like no cap, it really does.
Yeah, it's gonna forever have that. You're gonna have those family memories and the family connections about wrestling. So, oh yeah, that's the beautiful thing about this. Call it a sport. Call it sports. I call it sports entertainment. I
call that shit wrestling. I don't give a fuck, man. That shit wrestling.
I think it's aptly fit description of what's done and what we do, but it's still wrestling. In its pure form, it's wrestling, like Rich Law says. So, all you haters, all you naysayers, all you trolls that can get on and say, "Oh, it's fake, right?"
Like they said, man, y'all can say wrestling fake. Gravity ain't fake. You go out there and get your ass slammed and see what happens. Watch your back start feeling like it's numb. Y'all gotta start respecting these pro wrestlers, man. Y'all don't understand the bumps they have to. We don't watch wrestling long enough. We done seen people. Stone Cold took a power driver and broke his neck, and somebody talking about it fake. Man, come on, dog. He didn't fake break his neck. Triple H didn't fake tear a pec muscle. Owen Hart, that didn't happen to him. Undertaker didn't almost lose an eyeball from Rey Mysterio because wrestling is fake. Nah,
Undertaker got lit on fire because of his pyro was.
Yes, I remember that. Like, come on, man, it's real. These folks put their life on the line every day. That's why we used to watch wrestling when we was a kid. They showed them they would show the not the replay, the commercial. They say, please don't try this at home. Don't try it. It used to be a black and white. I remember. As soon as we see that commercial, come on, let's go hit this move right here. Fuck that commercial. I'm about to slam your ass. So yeah, man, I'm
doing sharpshooters and figure fours to see how.
Man, my cousin used to put me in the walls of Jericho. I used to hit him in the crossface. Like, come on, dog. That's what I'm saying. People can say whatever. Something happened along the way where people kind of fell out of wrestling, but now ever since I dropped this interview, I noticed like it's a lot of people still watching wrestling, and I really do believe I believe this wholeheartedly that pro wrestling, the industry, is as hot as it's ever been. I didn't want to believe it at first because the nostalgia had me. I was like, hell no, it ain't better than the Attitude Era, the Ruthless Aggression Era. As far as the popularity, bro, people watch wrestling. It's just a lot of them are, for whatever reason, they like ashamed to just come out and say they watch this shit. But then as soon as you start talking about it, they know everything.
There's still closet wrestling fans.
Yes.
It's nowhere near as bad as the 90s. You really had to be a closet wrestling fan. Like, it was not cool to watch wrestling or to be a wrestler. Even with DX and all that, you went, especially in my era, you went to school and you watched wrestling, you got teased because it wasn't football. It wasn't
that's crazy. It wasn't, bro, when I was a little kid, it was not like that, bro. We used to hop on the bus. Man, y'all see, like, I remember when SmackDown first moved from Thursdays to Fridays. And I remember I was like, man, so how the fuck we gonna ride the bus and come to school and talk about wrestling? It came out to Friday. Like, bro, we used when I tell you this shit was real, bro, we would watch that shit, hop on the bus the next morning, talk to everybody on the bus about wrestling, go to class. I'm like first grade, second grade.
Bro, see, I grew up smaller town in Texas. All over Texas, but smaller towns in Texas. So football was God. Like, if you didn't play football or it wasn't about football or some actual sport, they didn't want to hear about it. So I wish I had that. And if I'd have had that kind of wrestling aura around me back then, I'd have already been in the sport 20 years. I have no doubt. I'd have started 20. We probably wouldn't know each other, but you'd be watching me on TV.
That like, mad man.
Like I'm saying, like, if I'd have been able to get involved back then, I just didn't really have. I don't want to say I didn't have the motivation. I had that. I had the heart, but I didn't have the resources, and I didn't have the support from the family. Still don't really have support. I feel that. But it is what it is. This is tonight's show. We did kind of get a little off topic tonight, but before we go, I do want to say to all you naysayers and haters, quit saying the F word in front of us because we're going to slap the taste out your mouth. You think it's fake, get in the ring, take a bump. People talk about fighting, and I'm cold on these streets. Boy, I've been in so many street fights. I'll throw these hands. All right, that's all gravy. That's good. You may be able to knock out everyone. You can knock out Jesus. Good for you. It takes something to stand there and know this 350-pound motherfucker is about to swing that fist, and I've got to eat this because, again, it's not fake. So I'm about to eat this big ham hock about to come flying at my, and I have to. You got to go against your repulses. You got your reflexes. You got to go against your instincts. The human body is not supposed to just fall back. You want to stick your hands back. You go ahead, stick your hands back. You're gonna break your shit.
Man, y'all can't take no chop to the chest. Call that fake. Take a chop to the chest. Matter of fact, you can't even, most people, Undertaker didn't even like taking them. Some people could take 5. I guarantee you, anybody who be like, wrestling fake, I bet you couldn't take 1. I bet. You're done. As soon as they slap you that one time, you probably sweating before they even slap you because you know that shit about to hurt.
Let my boy Vibez Aew Dynamite.
I seen him chop. He gave him 5. I was like, oh, shit. He showed it to him. I said, well, he slapped 5 out on him. I'm like, damn.
When my first ever time actually in the ring wrestling, it was a battle royale, and boy, Luther was in it. And, comfortable working with him because I didn't really know a whole bunch of other people. So we're wailing on each other, and boy, he slapped the soul straight out my body. I kid you not. Look, this true story here. True story, real quick. I said I'll let y'all go. I'm going to give y'all this quick 3 to 5 minute story because it's hilarious, and then I'll let y'all go. All right, quick true story. Vibez Aew Dynamite, Mr. FT motherfucking W, all right, was chopping your boy so hard and so often that there was a couple other performers that were coming to basically help me. Like, they turned okay, they were going to come get some action. One of them being a champion, no less. He was an actual champion in this promotion. Heard and saw the about face, said nope, turned and walked the fuck away. I got no help because they were hearing the sound of them chops. They figured I owed him money or something. They didn't know what the fuck was going on, but he was beating me like a redheaded stepchild that owed him money. Like, damn.
Sound about right.
It was a great experience, though. Well, I'll tell you what, it was funny, man. I had the war wounds afterwards. You could see handprints in my chest. I still got the pictures, but it was fake. I was, he was chopping the air. He wasn't
slapping his thigh at the same time.
Yeah, I didn't have a mark on my face from when I went over the top rope and go ahead and hit my face. Yeah, Floyd can contest. Yeah, Luther will rip skin. You damn right he will. He's a fucking animal. He does this to his brothers. And his brothers in arms, the Diamond Land crew. He's chopping our fucking titties. He's chopping our nipples right off our chest. But that's our boss, man. What can I say? That's how he runs. That's why we got to be, in line. Otherwise, here he comes.
I'm just gonna put it like this, y'all. Yes, I'm probably one of the hardest choppers around, but I'm inspired by Gunther, so blame him.
Hey, but the crazy part is he don't even chop like that. I see him just boom, just come straight down on something. It was so fast. I was like, damn.
That's how he does it.
Yeah, I got them chops from Penta.
Yep. Because Gunther is on record saying the hardest chops he's ever received, is from Penta. And this is pre-WWE. This is like not even Lucha Underground. This is just some independent shit when he was Walter, and Penta has chopped him harder than anyone. So shout out to Io Sky and Chelsea Green and Kyrie Sane and everybody else that fought Penta in Lucha Underground that took those chops. Damn.
I'm just trying to make sure, if somebody make it to WWE, if they ever got their story, they can say, yeah, bro, Vibez Aew Dynamite is probably the hardest chop I ever been. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So that's about it.
Yep. Well, so far, I can say that I've had a couple of people chop me. Like that, shout out to Bo Batten, one of my previous opponents at my most recent match. He went ahead, he wanted to give me a couple of chops. And, when you've been chopped by Luther, there's not a whole lot. I didn't even have any marks. Like after he brought it. It's not like he held back. I ain't saying he pushed out or nothing, but when you've been chopped by Vibez Aew Dynamite, Vibez Aew Gunther, that's nah. It's gonna take a lot more than that. But that's our show for tonight, people. I want to thank everyone for hanging with us with the little rambles and the going on after the show. Hope everyone enjoyed. Have a safe night. Stay mad, and I will talk to everyone and see everyone later. Diamond Land is out.